The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio. From hot dogs to cool kitties, this is Darkside of the Pooch.
Welcome back to another Dark Side of the Pooch, brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics down there in beautiful Homewood. I stopped down at Ed's Pet World. They're going to be having their last day of business the next couple of weeks. And I said, what are you going to do? I was talking to Angie. I said, what are you going to do with all the animals they're having? Just a breakout thing where they're just going to not let the animals go, but they're just going to sell everything. I mean, whatever you're willing to give them for their animals. So I'll keep you abreast of that situation. I was like, dude, that's crazy because it's been open for 50 years. So yeah, but the Sasquatch Toys and Comics, man, is doing really good. The comics from the 60s, 70s, 80s, of course, all kinds of toys still in the box. I mentioned I was on the starting lineup the other day. The legend he wanted one of those Evel Knievels. Remember the Evel Knievel jump thing where you used to spin it up, and he bought one of those brand new in the box for like $40. So they got all that great stuff, Legos, you name it. They got all kinds of toys down there. Sasquatch Toys and Comics. 208-0301, 208-0301, rossbridgevet.com or .org or .net, whatever. You know where to find it. Dr. Rab Stewart's the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, man? Anything exciting happening in your world?
Oh man, just fixing a back door here at the office.
Okay,
that's we're doing door surgery today. These steel doors, when the hinge messes up, it's a whole thing, man.
I know, man. This is not Bob Vila's show, but if it was, we'd help you.
I know,
but we'll try to fix something else.
No animal surgery today, just door surgery.
I've got some interesting emails, info@TonyCurryRadio.net, info@TonyCurryRadio.net I'll get into. Did you see the story about LaShawn Johnson? He's a former NFL player for the Green Bay Packers, played in the early to mid-90s, 94, 95 through 99, something like that. He's in Oklahoma, evidently this past weekend, and there was something that was going on his land that the authorities were brought to attention. They confiscated 190 dogs. What? 190 dogs at his place. He was running a dog fighting ring. Just so you know, anything over, I would say like 10 means they're probably fighting dogs. I mean, I've seen people have, my next door neighbors had 8 or 9, but anything like over 10, 11, 12 dogs, something's not right. You can't possibly take care of that many dogs and it be a healthy situation. He had 190 dogs. They said it's the most dogs they've ever confiscated in the history of dog fighting. And I wanted to ask you, it's something I don't ever hear about. I guess the last time I really talked about dogfighting was the Michael Vick thing. And man, the law really got stringent and as it should. Got really, really dangerous for a lot of folks. I think a lot of people think this is something that is for people that are in a socially economic different situation than we are. It's a rural thing. It's stuff out in the woods, out in the back streets where you don't normally see it. Give me your thoughts on what you know about dog fighting. Have you ever had any dogs come through your store that you thought this doesn't look right? Maybe there's been some type of dog fight involved here. Just kind of give me some of your thoughts on that.
I've never had anybody that I suspected was doing any dog fighting. I don't think that they don't care for those animals. They don't care for them in any way. If they get hurt, they probably just kill them. Mm-hmm. They don't. I mean, maybe they've got this guy. Maybe he's got some deal with somebody and just pays them a ton of money to do backdoor stuff. I don't know, but I've never had anybody that I felt like was doing this. I just don't get it. I mean, it's disgusting.
It is disgusting.
It's brutal. It's inhumane. Listen, dogs fight enough as it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got 2 dogs on a leash walking in a neighborhood, and if they don't like each other, then, Mother Nature takes over and there they go. But to force them to fight is just sickening.
Can a fighting dog be rescued and reformed? I
think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't have any experience doing it.
Yeah.
But, it's a lot of times it's about the environment. You have a dog that goes is in one home and the owner gives it away or takes it to shelter or, whatever. and then the next home it finds, it does great.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just environment.
I told you the story. I had 3 chickens. One was called Dover. It was a black chicken. It was a beautiful chicken. And my son was kind of a therapy chicken for Xavier, my special needs boy. And he got to the point where he started pulling its feathers out. And I said, listen, you can't pull the feathers out of the chicken. And it was just one of those things. And I said, listen, we can't have the chicken anymore if you're going to. And he held that chicken on his lap for a couple hours every day after school. I mean, he held that chicken, and it is nasty, as dirty as chickens can be. And he used to kiss it and everything else. And so we decided it was time to get rid of the chickens. So I put them in a crate in the back of my pickup truck, and I drove out 280. And I thought, I'll find a nice watering hole. I called several places. They asked me if they wanted their chickens. They're like, no. Now, of course, chickens are like, now they're like $4,000 or $5,000 a piece because eggs are going for $8 a piece. But I had several people say, no, we really don't want it. So I was trying to find, I was hoping to find another group of chickens because, sometimes they're just walking around people's backyards, because we got a couple of here in our neighborhood here where they just let the chickens walk around their front backyards. And I thought, I'll just drop them off where it looks, and I could not find a place to save my life. And I wasn't going to leave these chickens just on the side of the road. So I saw a house on the left-hand side of the road down towards Childersburg, maybe 20, 30 miles out, where I saw a bunch of roosters, and each rooster had its own house. There were about 12 of them. And I thought, wow, this guy really takes care of his roosters. And so I went to the back door and I knocked at the door and no one answered. And I knocked again. And next thing you know, some guy come flying down the road in a pickup truck and pulled out in front of the yard. He goes, can I help you? And I said, yeah. I said, I got some chickens out here in the back of the car, and I was looking for a safe place to drop them off. He goes, well, you don't want to drop them off here. I said, okay. He goes, well, yeah, we have roosters here. And I said, okay. He goes, they'll get killed. And I said, okay. I said, no mate, no. He goes, no, these ain't those kind of roosters. And he goes, as a matter of fact, you want to come back on Saturday night, 7:30, I'll show you what kind of roosters these are. And I just was kind of like, wow, it's a rooster. Chickens are different than dogs. I know that, but I still don't get it. I know we eat roosters and eat chickens. We don't eat dogs. I get it. There's a big difference between chickens and dogs, but you're still fighting animals. And for sake of having animals, is fight for betting purposes and stuff, I think is just sick. But I was like, wow. And I talked to a couple friends who are like, oh man, there's chicken fighting out 280 every Saturday night. Like several different places.
Northwest Alabama.
I had no idea. I had no idea. And so, it doesn't surprise me to know that there'd be dog fighting. And I guess there's a large amount of money. I'm thinking a former NFL guy seems like he should have been doing okay. For the same reason I don't get guys who are dealing marijuana. They're in the NFL for 10, 12 years. They're getting their severance, they're getting their money, and then they get into dealing drugs. I don't get it. But no, I thought it was interesting. And for the most part, I don't think it's as relevant or prevalent as it used to be before. I think the Michael Vick thing really was an eye opener for a lot of people.
He went to jail for a long time. For years. Well,
he went to jail and everyone's like, he just ruined his career. And sure enough, he comes back out. He's still one of the first guys ever to get 2 $100 million deals. He came back, paid his restitution, if you will, and got back into the NFL and got himself a $100 million contract out of it. And now it's hard to believe he's an advocate and he's a speaker for the Humane Society and I still can't believe that you can be reformed enough to the point where you're fighting animals and electrocuting them by dropping them in garbage cans full of water. And now you're an advocate of caring for animals, but so be it. So it is what it is.
You got to rehab that image, man. Maybe he didn't know any better,
Well, I think sometimes too, it is a social economic thing. I think it's how you're raised. And not to say that wrong is wrong. What's my dad used to say? If everyone's doing it and it's wrong, it's still wrong. And if everyone's doing it, if one person's doing it's right, it's still right. It doesn't matter who's doing it. If it's right is right, is wrong. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I also saw the story. This is a family show, but I can send you the story, and I'm pulling it up because I want to make sure that I say it right. Florida influencer films sex acts with her pet chihuahua. Florida Florida mom films herself having an intimate relationship with her chihuahua. Logan Gaminsky, a Florida influencer. She's got 23 million followers. She calls herself the dog mom. Filmed herself being intimate with her pet chihuahua before posting these sickening videos on social media this past weekend. And I'm like, first of all, it's bad enough you're doing that, and to actually think that people would want to see that, to post something like that. I mean, you're just basically sticking your hands out in here and put the cuffs on me. I mean,
is that legal? Is it illegal?
No, it's not legal. It's I mean, what do they call it? Husbandry. You can't do that. And and I'm trying to think what social media platform can you even post something like that? Can you do that on Instagram or something? You can't put pornographic stuff on Facebook or X, or I don't think, unless there's some social media platform out there that I don't know about, which it sounds like it does. It's another reason why I don't like social media. I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, it's part of my business. I have to post stuff. I post my shows and that's it.
I mean, I'm trying to wrap my brain around this from so many different angles. So
I'm sure that Chihuahua is too.
I mean, I'm never speechless, Tony. This story. So, what is she thinking? What is she thinking that her viewers are thinking?
And I'll tell
what
you,
are her viewers thinking that she is thinking?
She shared the horrific clips with her 15,000 followers on Instagram. She was arrested, charged with 2 felonies: sexual activity involving an animal and filming sexual activity involving an animal. She was seen walking into a squad car into the police station in handcuffs. She had a glum expression. And what's amazing is this gal is I mean, she's looker.
I hope there were drugs involved.
Oh my gosh, I do too. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up just because, you know, I usually put the word pets, dogs, and cats. And then I Google it and I put news in there, and sometimes some newsworthy stuff comes up. And that was the first story that came up. And I thought, my goodness gracious.
Is she American? Is she American? Is she?
Yeah, she's.
What's her nationality?
Her last name is Gaminsky. Received information from an anonymous tip that Gaminsky posted a video to Instagram depicting sexual activity with a dog. They basically said she was abusing the animal. She also gathered additional information, described herself as a dog mom on Instagram, and calls herself a content creator who generates sexually explicit photos and videos that sell on the internet during her police interview. Okay, well, that kind of explains things. Multiple posts on her cuddling and kissing her dogs were shared on her Instagram post. Yeah, this is just a sick, that's a sick puppy. Right.
And it was a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
So size doesn't matter.
Evidently. Evidently it doesn't.
Just trying to find a way to.
I know. I say thank you. Let's go on that note. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. Pete in Birmingham wants to know: can I give my dog Claritin D?
Yeah, sure.
There is. We're finally getting. I don't remember it being this good, to be honest with you. I don't see. There's not as much pollen. It usually just comes out like it's a giant thing of yellow garbage. And one day you just wake up and it's like, and you just wake up and it's all over your car. It hasn't been really bad, at least around this area. But antihistamines, what can dogs take? Is there something special for your pet to take, or do you just take over-the-counter stuff?
Zyrtec is the over-the-counter one that probably works the best.
Okay.
It's only going to work in about probably 25% of dogs. Cats don't really get the same type of allergies that dogs do. So we're mainly talking about dogs right now. But yeah, they can have Zyrtec. The generic form is called cetirizine, and they can have that a couple times a day. It's kind of a range of milligrams that they can have. It may work. It's worth a shot. So we talk to owners about it, but most of the time the dogs end up needing prescription strength stuff.
And how will you know if your dog is having issues with its allergies?
They do a lot of scratching, do a lot of licking of their paws, and maybe their bellies. They get kind of itchy on their basically feet and kind of bellies. usually where it occurs most commonly, where they come in contact.
I think I may have one sitting right behind me because I keep mentioning he's been licking his paws and stuff, and I know he's been looked at and stuff, but that maybe having something. But they don't sneeze like us. It's not like they don't have a runny nose or anything like that.
No, okay. It's not a nose or a sneezing thing as much as it is conjunctivitis and dermatitis.
Okay. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net, 208-0301, or to stop by and see him. I was actually in your neighborhood the other day, and I texted you and said, are you in the shop? You were out of town, and I'm glad to hear that. But I was right next door. I was going to stop on down and see my friendly little veterinarian friend at the Rossbridge Animal Hospital. You can do that anytime you want. Just check if you want to find out what the place is really about, don't tell them you're coming. Just go in and check the place out. See how it's run a little bit, and you'll see it's one of the best of the best. Donnie in Homewood wants to know, how has Donald Trump's tariffs affected the veterinarian business? That's a very, very good question. It doesn't seem to be too many people that the tariffs have not affected. Do the majority of your drugs, your scalpels, any things you get, your masks, does that come from Canada, Mexico, China, Taiwan, wherever?
Yeah, a ton of it comes from all over. So there was an article the other day, and I really try. I make a conscious effort to just kind of keep my head down and come to work and just don't look into a bunch of stuff because you're going to worry. Yeah, I mean, if prices go up, then we have to increase our prices. And there was somebody the other day that was complaining about how, well, 2 years ago it cost this. I said, well, yeah, 2 years ago it cost me this.
Yeah, and
now it cost me that. It cost me that. Now it cost me this. And, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, in the end, the consumer is the one that has to deal with it. And then if it gets bad enough, then the business owner will have to be the one that deals with it because the consumer won't come in anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was reading an article the other day about how the tariffs are going to affect certain things, certain medications that we buy, certain disposable things that we use. So, we'll see that passed along to us, and unfortunately, we'll have to pass it along like everybody else does.
What specifically can you think of is something that is going to go up in price?
Lots of pharmaceuticals will. Some of our hospital supplies will. I don't know. I don't think pet food will, but a lot of pharmaceuticals will.
Okay. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. Julie in Birmingham wants to know, she wants to paint her dog's nails. Is it okay to use human nail polish, or is there a special nail polish for animals I can use? She also is asking about painting her dog. I know there's some special paint you don't want to obviously use real spray paint on your animal, but there's a special
Sherman-Williams.
Yeah, you don't want to go get some Valspar this weekend and take care of Mitzi. You can get ready for the big Auburn win this weekend. But what can you use if you want to go ahead and color your dog with nail polish or spray, or what's available out there?
You can use normal human nail polish. It's fine.
Okay,
no problem.
What if they lick it? It's okay if it's.
No, you don't want it. You don't want them to ingest it. So you need to be sure it dries.
If this influencer was painting her dog's nails, she could just blow her nails for her. She'd probably want to do that since she's a dog mom, right? Just
exactly
blow the nails.
We had a dog come in earlier today that had its nails painted.
Really?
But I don't know. Maybe she's onto something. Maybe she could develop her own doggy nail paint.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You start it today, and I bet you'd be a millionaire by tomorrow.
Yeah, start it.
Are you surprised by? Did you see this coming? What's happening in the pet world right now is really incredible. I mean, and great things happen to great people. So I could not be happier for your business. I don't. Are you busting out? I mean, you don't really have any room for money. I mean, you get new business, obviously, and you'll take new business. But I mean, you're busting out, right? I mean, you're pretty much from the minute you get there to the minute you're gone, correct?
Yeah, I mean, most days.
I mean, could you? Well, I guess I'm asking a very personal question, but could you get bigger? I mean, do you want more customers? Because
always.
We're doing that. But I mean, I never saw, and maybe it's because of my investment in my animals. Over the last 4 to 5 years, I've gotten a lot closer to my animals because of my personal situation. But we know the billions and billions of dollars that the animal industry is now influencing us with is crazy. I mean, it's almost twofold every other year. It's amazing what we're spending on our pets. It's great. I'm glad to see people taking care of their animals, but we're talking about bodysuits and leashes. And I mean, it used to be, you used to get like a special collar, and that was now it's like you're outfitting the entire animal. It's just crazy what we're spending on our dogs. And most of it is this refrigerated stuff that is just taking the world by storm.
Yeah, the animal industry is kind of recession resistant. It's not recession proof, but it's resistant. And it doesn't. When the economy goes through really bad times, the profession will feel it, but it won't feel it near as bad as other retail and things like that, other services. But yeah, I mean, first of all, it's owning a pet and taking care of it. It's expensive. It just is. There's no way of getting around that. It's almost a luxury. And because we care about the pets so much, the quality of care goes up. And so the expense of care goes up. But the pet industry grows every year because people care, and they're becoming more and more like family members. So, I mean, I guess I just kind of, I don't really have like a long horizon. I just went to school to do what I do, and then I got a job, and I just keep coming to work.
But during COVID, you were essential business. During COVID, did you go, okay, kids, in a couple of years, it's going to be on? Because I mean, the ownership went through the roof, right?
Yeah. So COVID helped us a lot.
Yeah. No doubt.
I mean, COVID was really good to us, but now it's pulling back. Now we're seeing, pre-COVID numbers, and when we were seeing, maybe 400 animals a month. Now we're seeing 350. So some of that is because people got puppies and kittens, and you have to come in more often when you have a puppy or kitten. You're coming in once a month for 4 or 5 months. But so now but some of those people that got animals, they didn't, for some reason, they didn't come back. They didn't come back. And, but like we mentioned, the veterinary industry is veterinary, or it's recession resistant, resilient, but not proof. But I mean, we have been blessed here, but the industry as a whole is starting to pull back because people are getting gouged everywhere they go.
Yeah, and like anything else, when something gets hot, everyone jumps in. Are you seeing more? It's not like you can become a veterinarian. You have to go to school for this for years to become a veterinarian. Are you seeing more veterinarians now? Are you seeing more luxury places? You don't need to be a veterinarian to open up a dog grooming place, do you? I mean, do you see more places that are just kind of popping up? Because it seems like I do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, so you had this explosion in 2021, and the industry was strapped for people. Like, we didn't have enough vets, we didn't have enough support staff, and now it's starting to kind of shift the other way. But unfortunately, we live in a world that, for the most part, is reactive and not proactive. So you have these states that were like, well, we're gonna create a vet school, we're gonna open a vet school. And so now, with a recession looming, salaries are going to be stagnant or go down. People are going to stop coming in as much. If an animal's due for a wellness visit, they may say, well, you know what, we're going to pass on this year. Mm-hmm. If they get sick, they're still going to come in.
Sure.
If an animal is sick, people are going to bring it in and take care of it.
Absolutely, as they should. Part. Yeah, absolutely.
But the wellness stuff is a different story. But so now that you have vet schools popping up, you have vet schools that are enlarging their classes. Well, there was no way to see the demand and see the need. So it's more reactive than proactive. And so now what you'll have more than you need, which for someone like me, the business owner, that's great. Yeah. Having a job market that's flooded with people, that's awesome, because now, you have a little bit more control over who you can hire and that sort of thing. Whereas, 3 years ago, it was like, look, do you have a pulse? Okay. Great.
Yeah.
We'll hire you.
We know this, and I'm just going to say it. The reason we want to take care of our animals is because it makes us feel better, not the animal. So when I hear the farmer's dog saying making happier dogs, I know that's not true. Can you just talk about that just a little bit? Because my dog's just as happy as your dog, but I spend a third of the amount of money on dog food as you do on your dog. The only reason you feel good about bringing something out of the refrigerator is but does it taste better? Maybe your dog's no happier than mine is.
No, I mean, and I'm not one that, I do not spend a lot of money on dog food.
Yeah.
I just, I don't, I mean, I feel like it's all marketing. Okay, let's take dairy cows and beef cows, for example.
Okay.
Let's take pigs, for example.
Okay.
Okay.
You're good.
All right. So, hey, pigs are really smart.
Yeah.
Pigs are smarter than dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They just are. A pig doesn't care what it eats.
No.
I mean, you can feed a pig the same thing every single day of its life, and it's totally happy. So, I have not bought into the dog food marketing scheme, because that's what it is. Someone tells you need something. I mean, it's like that. It's like
if you're feeding your dog 2 cups of Purina dog chow, which I do, a cup in the morning, a cup in the afternoon, and my dog's in great shape, and you're giving your dog farmer's dog, is your dog going to be healthier than mine?
No,
exactly.
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Yeah, just because it looks more appetizing and it smells better and it comes out of the refrigerator, don't tell me. I mean, is your dog going to live longer than mine? No. Your dog only knows what the dog knows. The dog knows what you tell it.
We had somebody come in and board, and they brought this food with them, and it was, they said they were spending hundreds of dollars a month on the food, and it looked like was, it's like if you took kibble and you blended it up, and then you threw cilantro in there. That's what it looked like. And it had like fancy packaging on it.
Yeah.
And,
and the dog's name on the package.
You
have to put the dog's. That's really cool. Or it has your dog's name on, and the portions are specific for your animal.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah.
And I just don't. I don't subscribe to that. I just don't. A dog is going to eat what you put in front of it. Now, it's important to put down good quality. I mean, we don't need to be feeding our animals just like meat left over from dinner.
Yeah.
That's not what we need to be feeding it actual dog food that has vitamins and minerals that the dog or, cat food, dog or cat needs. But I'm not one that's going to buy into the hype.
All right. Darkside the Pooch, always brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics. Seth, his entire crew do wonderful work down there in Homewood. They've been open for a little over a year now. They're doing fantastic. Comics from the 60s, 70s, 80s. Trading stuff, Legos, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, Star Trek. Stuff still in the box. If you find some stuff in your attic, it's never been opened before, you probably have a gold mine. They buy, sell, and trade. And all the comics you can get your hands on. Check out Sasquatch Toys and Comics down there in beautiful Homewood. Tell people how they can find you, my man.
You can call us at 208-0301. You can find us on Facebook, or we are also at rossbridgevet.com.
God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Oh, hey, before we go, do you remember the scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure when he rescues all of the animals from the burning pet store?
Yes.
So that's that's kind of the image that I have from Ed's, like just we're letting them all go.
Well, they got a couple of animals. They got like a couple of Amazon parrots that have been there, not for 50 years, but probably for 20. And I'm wondering what they're going to do. Someone in the shop, and I know everyone that works down there, someone in the shop's going to have a really loud home in a couple of weeks because they're not going to be. I mean, some of these birds go for thousands of dollars. They have a caiman down there that's 5 foot long. I don't know what they're going to do with that. Tarantulas. I just was like, but I went down there and, they don't, the ferrets and all that stuff's gone already. So, they're still selling rats though. I got a rat for my snake. Yeah. That's still good. All right.
Anyway, that's what came to my mind.
Thank you, my man. I'll talk to you a little bit.
See you, bud.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.